I haven't seen you guys since March 13th, and you look great. I'm excited to be here tonight. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Harris. I'm the principal of Porter High School. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to welcome all parents, family members, and friends of the class of 2020 of Porter High School. I want to remind everyone that this is a formal ceremony, and I ask that you respect the dignity and honor of this ceremony and not let your actions detract from the accomplishments of others. At this time, please stand for the invocation led by Lindy Harris, and then remain standing for the pledges and the national anthem, which will be led by the senior class president, Jackson Ray. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Please bow your head with me as I pray. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight to celebrate our accomplishments as graduates of Porter High School. Thank you for the teachers, parents, and guardians that stood by us and helped us reach this point in our lives. Lord, I pray for our nation. Please watch over the leaders of our country as they make decisions in this time of uncertainty and strife. As I ask that you provide safety for those in the military and that they continue to fight for our freedom. Lord, I thank you for your sacrifice on the cross so that we can spend eternity in heaven with you. You did not die for a specific group of people. You sacrificed your life for all of us because we are all equal in your eyes. I pray that comes to light and our nation turns back to you, Father. I pray that for the class of 2020, no matter where we go or what we do, I ask that you watch over us and keep us safe. I ask all these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, family and friends, for joining us today to commemorate the last 4 years of our lives. Now, will you please face the flags and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Please be seated. At this time, I would like to welcome and acknowledge the honored guests on the stage with me tonight. Superintendent of Schools, Ken Franklin. School Board President, Chad Turner. Vice President, Craig Mixon. Assistant Secretary, Ty Trout. Secretary, Elizabeth Roden Harrell. Member, Beth Prickrell. Member, Ricky Warwick. And Member, Wendy Sharp. I would also like to recognize the parents, guardians, and teachers of all the graduating seniors. Thank you for your support you have given to these students and the school. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Salutatorian of Porter High School, McKenna Eccles.
Years ago, we wandered into Porter High School, dodged upperclassmen in the hallways, attended our first homecoming, and got booed at pep rallies. Sophomore year, we weren't fish any longer, but Hurricane Harvey required us to wade through standing water, salvage sinking cars, clear out flooded homes, and donate what we could to help our neighbors. We became more responsible for our community through service, got our driver's licenses, and most importantly, we weren't freshmen anymore. Junior year hit like a solid punch to the face. Challenging classes, hours of studying and homework after school, standardized testing, and baby shark between every single class had us ready to finish out the year. Just to top it off, flooding kept us stranded at school late, eating frozen PB&Js and tempting us to swim our way out. Finally, senior year came. We were varsity athletes, presidents of our organizations, working in our community and questioning what we were going to do after high school. We left school for the last time unexpectedly, attempted online classes, and wondered whether we would make it here. It might have taken 3 dates and 2 locations, but we made it here. Now it's time to celebrate. Our families here in the stands and at home watching online, our teachers, administration, and hardworking staff deserve some appreciation. Class of 2020, please join me in thanking all those who encouraged us along the way. Hello, I'm McKenna Eccles, and no, I'm not here to sell homecoming tickets, invite you to a spirit night, get you to donate blood at an upcoming drive. I'm not even here to try to convince you to buy a class shirt, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak with each of you. Reflecting on the past 4 years reminds me of the obstacles, the inspiration, the challenges, and the joys that I experienced within the walls of PHS. Each pushed me to raise my expectations of how I could serve our student body. With my eyes set on medicine since before I can remember, I immersed myself in the health science opportunities our school offered. HOSA, Skills USA, teaching CPR, medical terminology, they all fueled my interest and helped me stay focused on my long-term goal. Leaders lift as they rise, which is what I aimed to do when I advocated for your engineering, welding, cosmetology, criminal justice, and culinary programs by speaking up with members in meetings with legislators and education influencers, because I believe those programs help students like us to set high expectations for our futures. The class of 2020 is full of students who set high expectations for themselves and others, who are just as qualified as I am to be speaking here today. Work ethic and self-motivation got Michaela Scott on the varsity basketball team sophomore year. She led her team on and off the court as a powerful point guard. Not to mention, she was our beautiful homecoming queen this year. Winter Lattimore set her eyes on becoming drum major, sacrificed the sport she loved, and accomplished her goal. Ali Afridi took his interest in business past the classroom assignments, qualified for the DECA International Career Development Conference, and motivated a community of students to learn about finance and the stock market in the real world. Alyssa Moreno had incredible spirit. She stepped up by coming to senior class officer meetings, rallied student support, planned and volunteered a dozen fundraisers, and put in her best effort to make this senior year special for each of us despite unforeseeable hurdles. Maya Angelou said, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." I was only able to name a few extraordinary Spartans today, but look around. No, really, look around and notice that this stadium is full of surviving students, thriving students. And from where I'm standing, class of 2020, we're definitely going out with some style. These are unprecedented times that have set higher expectations for us than ever, but we are an unprecedented class. We have raised the standards. We came, we saw, we conquered. Porter High School class of 2020, congratulations.
Thank you, McKenna. Now it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you the valedictorian of Porter High School, Jada Fink.
Good evening. On behalf of the senior class, I would like to thank everyone who made this night possible. Thank you to the school board, administration team, counseling department, and custodial staff for enabling us to pursue excellence while at Porter High School. To all of the teachers and coaches that we have had the privilege of learning from, it's painful to know that we don't get the chance to share this moment with most of you. But know that your absence cannot compare to the time, effort, and love you have poured into us over the years. I'd like to give a special thanks to Miss Sutherland, Miss Easley, Mr. Fortenberry, and Mr. and Mrs. Dowdy for pushing me beyond my perceived limits and inspiring me to never settle when it comes to my education. And above all, I would like to thank the phenomenal parents, family, and friends that have raised this class. It truly has taken a small village. To my parents, thank you for your constant love and investment, not only in my academics, but in my character and faith in God. When Mr. Harris sent me an email last month, assigning me the task of composing a speech, my initial reaction was, what on earth do I talk about in pandemic graduation speeches? In desperation, I went to YouTube and searched best pandemic graduation speech, only to find myself looking at 0 search results. But coming up empty-handed afforded me the realization that there would be no prior speech given that could encompass all that this class has endured and learned over the past 18 years. I personally learned a lot a few months ago when classes were transferred from Porter High School to Porter Home School. I happily took additional classes such as suntanning and intro to guitar. But all jokes aside, being stuck in my house for the past few months has also given me time to reflect. And I realized that a lesson that I learned as a freshman was something I found myself relearning during quarantine. To explain the lesson I learned, I'd like to tell you about someone who completely changed my life and quite possibly saved me from ending it. That someone is Anissa Keener. Many of you may know her as one of our past administrators, but when I was at the lowest point of my life, she became my shoulder to lean on. Over the past 6 years that I've known her, she has done more for me than I feel I truly deserve, acting not only as a close friend, but as a third parent and life mentor. In getting to know her, I've also grown in my walk with Christ. Oftentimes, I find myself at a lack of words to express how thankful I am to have her in my life. Here's where the lesson comes in. I didn't realize the impact she had on my life until she moved during our freshman year, meaning that for the first 2.5 years that I knew her, I took the time I had with her in person for granted. Almost 4 years later, I still have a bit of regret in not taking in every moment with her as if it were my last. But because of that realization, I now leap at every opportunity I get to see her. A similar instance occurred during quarantine, when I realized that March 13th was the last time I would see many of my teachers, and the last time I would get to make memories in high school. Being at the top of the class has its perks, but it also has its shortcomings. Instead of setting aside time to tend to my friendships by going to football games in this stadium or to movies with my friends, I studied, perfected essays, and worked on homework assignments until sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning. Do I regret the effort I gave to be academically successful? No. But do I regret striving for perfection at the expense of my relationships with my friends? Most certainly. This class is filled with so many amazing people that have achieved so much, from dominating cheer competitions in Disney to bringing home business and engineering accolades from all over the nation. Having our senior year cut short stings, but these last few months cannot compare to the last 4 years. From bus rides to Fort Worth, to cheering in the stands until we were hoarse, to staying late at school to prepare for competitions. We've made lasting friendships with those around us. I've become really close to the engineering group I've worked with for the past 4 years. But I regret not slowing down every once in a while to celebrate them or to do more with them outside of school. Of course, we can stay in touch through social media, but since our last competitions together were canceled a few months ago and our plans for the future diverged, our time together might have already disappeared. If you haven't caught on by now, the lesson I relearned was that the time that we have with those around us cannot be taken for granted. People cannot be taken for granted. For the world we live in is constantly changing, and we can never fully know what tomorrow will bring. When COVID-19 commanded shutdowns, we banded together through Instagram stories and birthday parades. We were there for each other because we didn't know how each day would unfold. But what happens after this pandemic? Will we go back to taking life and the people around us for granted? Class of 2020, we were born into the world during 9/11, during a time of pain and inhumanity. But from that moment in history, we grew. We learned to serve, to help, to have compassion, strength, and resilience. And in our desire to see more to life, we found joy. Despite the setbacks and pain, despite the floods and the hurricane and even this pandemic. There's a story in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, that talks about the Israelites' journey to the Promised Land. While they were fleeing from Egypt, there were multiple times when they encountered hardship and questioned God, crying out that they would have rather died as slaves in Egypt than as free people wandering in the wilderness. They questioned God when they lacked of food, when they lacked of water, and when they lacked of faith in one day seeing the Promised Land. It took the Israelites 40 years to get to Israel. But it says in the Bible that the Lord took care of his people, performing miracles before them so that after 40 years of wandering, their feet, the sandals on their feet had not torn. This pandemic has placed us in our own wilderness, causing many of us to cry out in frustration due to all that has happened. There have been times when we have grown tired and felt like giving up. But we will continue to have moments like these throughout our lives. But we must not look back or lose faith, for we know there are far better things still to come. Isaiah 40:29-31 says, "He gives power to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Even youths will faint and be weary, and the young will fall exhausted. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This pandemic is not over. We're still waiting for answers to the unknown, but we are also still holding on to hope. Hope that a day will soon come when the sun rises on a tomorrow with a new normal, a better normal. So friends, as we depart from the familiar and step into the unknown, keep your loved ones close, put on your full set of armor, and go boldly into tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, I did this last year, so everybody smile. All right, this is my last opportunity to do this, so buckle up. We're going to be here a while. Mr. Franklin, school board, parents, and guardians and guests, and especially the Porter High School class of 2020, I welcome you to tonight's graduation ceremony. I want to congratulate each of you on your graduation from Porter High School. As our two previous speakers said, the road that led to this moment is probably never going to be repeated. At least I hope it's not. So think about it. Hurricane Harvey, Tropical Storm Imelda, last year's floods on May 7th that kept us at school for almost 24 hours, fire in the cosmetology lab, and now COVID-19. So you've dealt with floods, fire, and a plague. Kind of sounds like a story out of the Bible. You haven't had a normal year since I became the principal of Porter High School. I take full responsibility for that. I apologize. I'm pretty sure I brought some bad mojo with me. That, and I was kind of afraid that if I served another year as a principal, we'd probably be dealing with locusts or some kind of other infestation. So having said that, way in the back, Mr. Condarco, good luck. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Condarco will be the principal of Porter High School next year. This is a different ceremony for me today because my oldest child will be walking across this stage in a few minutes. So parents in the audience, I know what some of you are going through right now. Also, I kind of have to be on good behavior because my parents are watching on the live stream tonight, and anything I say can and probably will be used against me at some point. And probably I'm also being cut out of the will because they didn't make the cut for one of the 4 tickets. Like I said, I'm watching my oldest child graduate today. I know you're on this. Lindy, where you at? Hey. I often joked with her that I was going to hand her a suitcase as she walked across the stage because we were ready to kind of get her out of the house and off the payroll. I didn't bring a suitcase, so don't worry. But just so you know, there is a moving truck at the house right now packing up all your stuff to move to Aggieland. I'm just kidding. As you graduate today and enter the next phase of your life, just allow me a few moments to offer some words of advice. And I would also like to ask some things of you in return. People always say they want the truth, but they don't want to be honest. Well, today I'm going to be honest. And just understand my honesty comes from experience and the understanding that I've been in your shoes. Well, for some of you, I've been in your shoes and know what some of you are going through and some of the decisions that you have to face. The world we live in often, it rewards mediocrity. I don't know when this changed, and you know what I'm talking about. You know, everybody gets a participation trophy. In other words, you're entitled to a reward just for simply showing up. You know, there's no effort, no work, no sweat or determination put into it other than just being present. But the real world doesn't work that way. I recently watched a documentary about a person that had the exact opposite of this mentality. His obstacles were numerous, and he used them as personal motivation to achieve his version of success. But he never, ever used those obstacles as an excuse. In fact, he saw them as opportunities to overcome. His drive and determination inspired those around him to take their skills to another level. No one was rewarded for mediocrity. You earned your rewards through hard work and grit. It wasn't handed to you, you earned it. Having said that, you will never convince me that Michael Jordan isn't the greatest basketball player of all time. I know I'm probably going to get some arguments from some of you because y'all are big Kobe and LeBron and all those fans. I'm sorry, he's the GOAT, trust me. I've never seen someone so driven to succeed, and he wasn't going to accept mediocrity from himself or those around him. I urge you, class of 2020, don't settle for mediocrity. Refuse to be average. You're already not average. Look at what you've gone through. You were created for greatness, so don't waste this opportunity in front of you. Next, you need to leave a lasting legacy, and I'm not talking about a video on TikTok or Snapchat or Twitter or whatever. You need to start thinking now, right now, about the mark you're going to leave on this earth. To put it bluntly, what do you want people to say about you at your funeral? What do you want them to remember about you? What are you going to do with that dash between the dates on a headstone? Leaving a lasting and enduring legacy is vital in order for one generation to take the baton and run the relay of life for the next generation. One of my heroes, the Reverend Billy Graham, once said, "Our days are numbered. One of the primary goals in our lives should be to prepare for our last day. The legacy we leave is not just in our possessions, but in the quality of our lives." Thinking back on it, the best example of a legacy I can think of is that of a 5'6" Cajun from South Louisiana. Not a tall man, but in my eyes, he was a giant. He never lived a wealthy lifestyle. In fact, it was a very frugal and meager life. But he was so abundantly rich in other things. Things like wisdom, compassion, courage, humility, integrity. He was genuine, resourceful, one of the funniest people I knew, ethically and morally right. He showed unconditional love, and he was as faithful a man as you could ever meet. In the end, those are the things that matter most, and those are what people are going to remember. In the end, it's not material possessions or wealth or fame. He taught me more by example than any words he spoke. This man also led me to a saving faith in Jesus Christ when I was young, and that decision changed my life forever. He is no longer with us, but the impact he left on my life and countless others continues to this day, and you can see it in his family and the people he shepherded as a pastor in various churches throughout Texas and Louisiana. His life was the embodiment of what I think a legacy should be. This man's name was Thomas Hebert, and he was my grandfather. Right now, in our country, we're at a crossroads. Political and social turmoil are the focus of today's headlines. Civil discourse, listen to me, civil discourse has turned into intolerance and insults. Listen, it is okay if someone disagrees with you. The respectful sharing of ideas is the best way to influence change in our society and government. We seem to have lost our sense of direction here in America and have abandoned some of the principles that our founding fathers used to form this nation. Principles such as the honor of having good character, the integrity to tell the truth and keep your promises, justice to uphold what is fair and right, perseverance to take the right path, not the easy path, the responsibility to preserve not only your own liberty, but the liberty of others, and to respect and value the lives of others. Those are just a few. And we've probably, in my mind, we've forgotten probably the most basic principle of all. Our rights as Americans come from a holy God, not from a government. I beg of you, be the generation that returns us to those principles. It's not going to be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is. You've heard that before. It's not going to be easy as you step into this next phase of life. The world's going to do everything it can to persuade you that the values, traditions, and faiths of your mothers and fathers are false. Do not fall for that narrative. America is a vibrant democracy and the brightest light of freedom in the world because of those values and traditions. I want to impress upon you, and this is where I'm going to get personal with you. I want to impress upon you just how important your generation is to someone like myself. At this point in my career, I'm kind of on the downhill slide. And by the time I reach retirement, it will be you guys that are going to be in charge of decisions that are made in this country. Your generation will decide where we go from the crossroads I mentioned earlier. I say this unashamedly. America is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And it will soon be your responsibility to carry on the virtues and traditions of our founding fathers. This responsibility does not come lightly. President Ronald Reagan stated that freedom is never more than one generation from extinction. And you know what? He's 100% correct. Freedom must be fought for and protected in order for it to be handed down to the next generation. Speaking of the next generation, many of you will become parents in the future. Believe it or not. I never thought it would be me, but I got 3 kids now. You will have an awesome responsibility of raising up the generation after you. So I'm going to go back to where I started this speech, and I'm going to ask you, I need these things from you. Teach your kids the value of hard work and perseverance. Don't let them settle for mediocrity and a handout. Be an example of a lasting legacy for them, not just a dash between 2 dates on a headstone in a cemetery. And instill in your children the virtues that our founding fathers cherished in order to carry on the torch of freedom to light the path for our future. I would like to say a special thank you to the graduates in this class that are entering the United States Armed Forces. Protecting our freedoms is one of the highest honors I can think of, and I am grateful for your service. Those of you going to college or entering the workforce, use your talents and skills to invest in the limitless opportunities our great country provides and create a lasting impact for future generations. And to all my future fighting Texas Aggies, where are we at? I commend you for choosing to be part of something greater than yourself. Selfless service is one of the core values of Texas A&M, and you will soon be counted among the members of the fighting Texas Aggie class of 2024. I believe that General George Patton said it best. Give me an army of West Point graduates and I'll win a battle. But give me just a handful of Texas Aggies and I'll win a war. As you head to Aggie land, remember that Aggies will take care of other Aggies. So if you ever need anything, and I'm being dead serious, if you ever need anything, you know where I'm at. I wish the Porter High School class of 2020 the best of luck. And I pray that the Lord richly blesses you as you take this next step. I am honored to be your principal and am so proud of how you've handled this situation and the accomplishments that you've achieved. Because of all the various trials that this class has endured and lesson learned through those trials, I have no doubt that America's brightest days are still ahead. I love you guys. Wait, one more piece of advice. No matter how cool or awesome you think your music is, it will never be as good as anything by George Strait. God bless you. Gig 'em Aggies. Go Spartans. Ahoo, ahoo, ahoo. At this time, I would like to recognize those graduates going into the armed forces and any veterans in our audience to please stand. Thank you so much for your service to our country. We also have a graduate that could not be here this evening because he is already in basic training for the United States Army. I would like to recognize Samuel Emling and let his family know, I don't know where you're sitting, but I want to let you know that he is in my prayers and I am forever grateful for his service to our country. Now, Mr. Franklin, I would like to present to you the 2020 graduating class of Porter High School. Class, would you please stand?
Great job, Mr. Harris. On behalf of New Caney Independent School District, I want to congratulate each one of you on your commitment, dedication, and self-discipline, which has brought you to this point in your life and will ensure continued success in all of your future endeavors. Mr. Harris, do you certify that these students receiving diplomas this evening met all the requirements to participate in this ceremony? Yes, sir. By the authority delegated to me by the state of Texas and the New Caney Independent School District, I hereby declare each recipient of a diploma as a graduate of Porter High School. You may move your tassel from right to left. Congratulations. Class of 2020, you may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. The format for awarding diplomas to our graduates will be as follows. The honor graduates will march across the stage in the order of their class rank. After the honor graduates are announced, students will be called alphabetically. You will notice that some of the graduates are wearing a black and red cord on their graduation gowns, signifying their commitment to community service. The white or blue collar with the blue and gold emblem indicates membership in the National Honor Society. Although all students make up Porter High School, within our school are 3 houses, chosen by students according to their career interest: the House of Arts and Humanities, the House of Business and Criminal Justice, and the House of Engineering and Agriculture. As a reminder to the audience, please refrain from any action that may cause a student's name not to be heard when it is read. Will the first row of graduates please stand? And remember to bring your name card and your diploma cover. Graduates, you will now come forward to receive your diplomas.
Dakota Martin. Isaac Resendez. Melissa Salgado. Jada Fink. McKenna Eccles. Catherine Dolan. Lindsay Imboden. Adrian Rojas. Dayana Berkebuk. Meadow Houseman. Evelyn Allen. Kimberly Mendez. Lucas Scobercha. Cameron Sherman. Shayla Beatty. Eileen Silva Lerma. Hannah Jenkins. Joshua Garcia. Demian Barriga Contreras. Carlos Vasquez. Benjamin Nolenberg. Jackson Riley. Heidi Aparicio. Colton Atkinson. Juan Flores Martinez. Sienna Johnson. Ali Afridi. Catalina Dusan Romero. Gabriel Maia. Joseph Lorenzo Bautista. Jocelyn Aguilar. Esmeralda Soto. Jackson Ray. Faith Morgan. Caitlin Hickman. Daniel Barr. Jade Larson. Gabriela Romero. Jason Zhang. Charlie Burns. Leslie Correa. Angelica Bernal Penalosa. Alyssa Moreno. Angelo Jose Duterte. David Pavorticit. Colin Davis. Lindy Harris. Madison Moore Lynch. Kennedy Bonsal. Baron Bradley II. Nathan Cordis. Jamie Castillo. Savannah Strader. Carter Crochet. Caitlin Garcia. Colton Campbell. Macy Despain. Lauren Wooten. Joshua Barron. Megan Woods. Carter Helms. Emily Elrod. Alexis Dunaway. Samantha Rogers. Madison Woods. Felicity Fritsch. Sarai Sierra. Jonathan Quesada. Guadalupe Flores. Isaiah Juno. Roman Villegas. Kinza Sadiq. Amy Hendricks. Samaya Bonite. Kristen Guevara. Emma Rucker. Kira Thacker. Charles Blackstock. Christina Eckmark. Christian Adair. Madison Adams. Kendall Addington. Miguel Aguirre. Yaritzel Aguirre. Leslie Alamia. Leilani Alcantar. Giselle Acaraz. Katia Almasan. Irene Asawala. Anaheli Alvarado. Crystal Alvarado. Maria Alvarado. Jesus Aguiano Hernandez. Miguel Antunes. Messiah Arias. Austin Armas. Jonathan Arteaga. Alex Arzola. Tori Backus. Natalie Bagshaw. Ana Lilia Baltasar Pineda. Perry Barnes. Natalia Barrientos. Zion Bell. Daniel Benavides. John Connor Billingsley. Tyler Blockios. Ana Bocanegra. Keely Bosky. Brianna Bowden. Caitlin Brandon. Edgar Bravo. Taylor Bressenan. Araceli Briones. Lexi Bryant. Gustavo Caballero Meyer. Christina Caballero. Abigail Cabrera. Judith Cabrera. Daniel Caldera. Alexis Campbell. Bianca Cano. Tristan Carbajal. Andrea Cardenas Lorenzo. Ezekiel Cardenas. Bailey Carnline. Jonathan Carranza. Connor Karsten. Eric Castellanos Escobar. Eric Castillo. Elias Castro. Gabriel Castro. Perla Castro Rosas. Simon Castro. Isaac Cervantes. Abigail Chattis. Jason Chavez. Mark Clark. Joseph Klein. Taryn Clutter. Brad Cole. Tyja Coleman. Michaelin Cook. Kayla Covarrubias Ramos. Maria Haika Krampatana. Giovanna Cruz. Jose Cubillos. Jennifer Cuevas. Hallie Curry. Carly Daniel. Colby Day. Mariangeli de la Cuesta Aponte. Melissa de la Vega Sanchez. Eduardo de Luna. Yupa Deb. Savannah de la Cruz. Daniela Diaz. Braden Dinwiddie. Devin Dominguez. Devin Duncan. Ayana Ellaby. Chase Eli. Onésimo Elizondo. Lillian Emmert. Edward Escardeno. Rubicela Espinosa Ferrer. Julio Espitia. Joel Estrada. Yesenia Estrada Hernandez. Abdul Faisal. Sarah Farrar. Jordan Fields. Karina Flores. Paula Flores. Jonathan Ford. Seth Foster. Yomeris Franco. Stephanie Frias. Eco Gallegos. Robert Garcia. Sienna Garley. Miriam Garza. Romaine Garza. Diana Gaspard. Sage Germain. Noah Gilbert. Denise Gomez. Julissa Gomez Morales. Ranferi Gomez Lopez. Andrew Gonzalez. Damian Gonzalez Quintero. Jacqueline Gonzalez. Giovanni Gonzalez. Julissa Gonzalez. Melissa Gordon. Angel Gosnell. Nathan Grafaldo. Rose Grafaldo. Sarah Guillen. Natalie Gutierrez. Zachary Hamilton. Trey Hancock. Brooke Haney. Madison Harlan. Lionel Haywood. Aiden Hurd. Adolfo Hernandez. Brian Hernandez. David Hernandez. Herlin Hernandez Mondragon. Irma Hernandez. Javier Hernandez. Julio Hernandez Conteno. Leslie Hernandez. Luz Maria Hernandez. Michelle Hernandez. Justin Hill. Albert Holden. Spencer Holloman. Joshua Horshad. Jesse Hull. Victoria Hunt. Kissa Hussein. Yareli Ibarra. Jennifer Iglesias. Peyton Jackson.
Go ahead up.
Miguel Jacobo. Yasmin Yankoviak. Rebecca Jaramillo.
All the way to the ramp, baby.
Jimena Yasso. Gabriela Jensen. Michael Jimenez. Caden Johnson. Sydney Johnston. Seth Jones. Oliver Juarez. Adam Karim. Hannah Keaton. Jeremiah Kissinger. Alyssa Kyle. Stephanie Labastida. Megan Large. Winter Lattimore. Kobe Lawson. Joe Leal. Sean Leo. Marion Lewis. Samantha Lisalde. Jackson London. Andres Lopez Vasquez. Jonathan Loredo. Kaylee Loving. Esmeralda Loya. Samantha Lucio. Jenny Long. Bianca Macedo. Omar Macedo. Norberto Maldonado. Kaylee Manlow. Christopher Marin. Darlene Marker. Desiree Marker. Robert Martin. Antonio Martinez. Isaac Martinez. Joanna Martinez. Jose Martinez. Stephanie Martinez. Brianna Matematico. Joshua Matondo. Emily Matthews. Sadie McCoy. Tasia McHugh. Eduardo Medina Martinez. Jasmine Milky. Brenda Mejia. Jose Mendez. Mariana Mendez. Gabriel Mendoza. Kaylin Mercado. Lauren Miller. Astrid Miranda. Guillermo Miranda. Eddie Molina. Alan Mondragon. Jalen Mondragon Velasquez. Richard Montes. Joshua Moody. Winston Moore. Francisco Morales Reyes. Yaribeth Morales Cabello. Jennifer Moreno. Shelton Munger. Ismael Muniz. Emily Munoz. Francesca Murga. Gianna Musacchio.
As soon as he says your name, start walking, okay?
Marcel Nabisada. Jenelise Navarro. Chandler Neal. Ellis Wynn. Carmesia Norman. Sitlali Nunez Rodriguez. Esteban Nunez. John Nunez. Frank Ogden. Josiah Oliver. Angie Ordonez. Mariana Orozco Lopez. Ana Ortiz. Jimmy Alexis Osorio Castro. Jonathan Oviedo. Minor Pacheco. Javier Pacheco. Jimena Padilla. Caitlin Painter. Jonathan Palmer. Claire Panova. Myra Parga Olivares. Denise Para Lara. Gabriela Para. Kaylee Pate. Megan Patton. Michael Pierce II. Andrew Peralta. Christian Perez. Daniel Perez. Dylan Perez Navarro. Jordan Perez. Jose Perez Amaya.
He'll call your name.
Matthew Perez. Savannah Perry. Katie Pickens. Darlene Piedra. Angelina Pike. Angela Pina Torres. Chasey Pitts. Alejandro Poblano Mundo. Abigail Polanco. Daniela Ponce. Jonathan Ponce. Preston Posey. Patrick Price. Miguel Puente Rodriguez. Jennifer Porreco Servin. Jessica Porreco Servin. Jasmine Ramirez. Yerania Ramirez. Catherine Ramos. Kendra Reardon. Victoria Rexer. Ernesto Reyes. Jared Rich. Jared Rickle. Vicente Rico. Itzel Rivera. Jacqueline Rivera. Elio Raro. Severin Roach. Ismael Rodriguez. Andrew Rome. Ryan Rogers. Christina Rojas. Moises Rojas. Pablo Roldan. Brenda Roman Alvarez. Angie Romero.
You're going to go to the base, and when he calls you, you'll go up. Thank you, Rebecca.
Ludi Romero.
Okay? Right to the base. When she goes up, you'll go to the base.
Rebecca Romero. Angel Rosas.
Right to the ramp for me.
Julian Rosas.
Leonis. Stay right there. He can do that.
Lienes Rosel Paz.
Stay right there at the base. Just this one. The red deal. No,
Kaylee Ruby James.
right there at the base.
Norma Ruiz Gallardo.
Right to the base of the ramp for me, man. Make sure the words are facing
Sabrina Ruiz.
up to the base. Thank you, sir.
Samantha Ruiz.
Now I feel bad. Right to the base for me.
Brianna Sar.
As soon as he calls your name, you'll go up, okay? Two.
Esmeralda Salas.
Right? James. Right there at the base.
James Salivar. Joel Salgado.
Just say Valerie. Don't say it.
Valerie Salgado. Adrian Sanchez Carvajal. Amaryllis Sanchez. Jason Sanchez.
Yes, sir, Lieutenant.
Jessica Sanchez.
Back to the base.
Valeria Sanchez.
Go, 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 go.
Vivian Sanchez Nava.
Go, Vivian. Go, Vivian. As soon as he calls your name, you gotta go, okay? You stay right.
Heriberto Sandoval.
Go ahead, Michael. Right at the base. Thank you.
Michael Santana.
Right at the base.
No, sir, it's Joe May.
Good job.
Hey,
Joe May.
yes, Joe May.
Stay right here for me.
Christian Santoyo.
Joe May. Right at the base. That's Ryan. Don.
Jome Ryan Santos.
Right at the base. Go ahead, Joe May.
Dana Sarmiento. Brandon Sarton.
Right at the base.
Michaela Scott.
Right at the base.
Evelyn Simler.
Right at the base. As soon as he calls your name, you'll go up. Stay right here, Joe. You'll switch with her.
Daisy Serrano. Jared Shaw. Stella Shaw. Yuda Cifuentes. Angela Silva. Jennifer Silva. Titus Sloan. Matthew Small. Emma Solis. Hugo Soto. Daniel Spengler. Trenton Stallsby. Benjamin Stewart. John Michael Stewart. Lisa Sturr. Gabriella Stoltz. Gary Strength. Okay. Joshua Strickler. Rutilio Sunun. Matthew Sweeney.
All the way up.
Tyler Talavera. Jalen Taylor. Jeremiah Taylor. Tavian Tomlinson. Dania Topete. Gabe Torres. Gustavo Torres. Maria Torres. Selvin Torres. Kylie Trommel. Nicholas Triscordi. Dino Trust Rios. Courtney Tucker. Haley Tucker. Mallory Tucker. Alexis Turley. Julian Uchima. Carlos Uloa Velasquez. Carla Uloa Velasquez. Ivan Valdez. Daniela Valencia. Kelly Van Woonick. Ana Leslie Vargas. Zoe Vargas Fortunado. William Vasquez. Jonathan Velasquez. Edgar Venecio. Ashley Verreau. Adolfo Vidal Flores. Santiago Vieira Cardona. Andy Villagrana. Nolan Vosberg. Savannah Warner. Shane Westerman. Carson Wigginton. Deja Williams. Matthew Williams. Morgan Williams. Brooklyn Willis. Kelsey Willis. Kylie Wilson. Bashanti Woodley. Malia Woods. Austin Zambrano. Mariana Zubia. Carissa Zuniga. Joni Alquicira. Lara Paloma. Leon Rivera.
What time is it? I don't even know. 9:53. Huh? 9:53. I missed about 3 minutes. Hey, within 5. Blake Carroll is up there celebrating right now.
Yeah, he probably is. He's doing his happy dance.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait till that kid gets to that road. Yeah. Get you a drink. You don't got a water up here? No, I got one right here. Get you a drink.
I'm telling you, that standing.
My back's hurt.
You don't have to finish until next year. God.
Will you please stand for the school song? Mr. Franklin, school board, parents, and staff, I proudly present to you the Porter High School graduating class of 2020. Graduates, please exit rows to the east and west exits like you came in. Parents and friends, please exit in the same locations. Congratulations again to the Porter High School class of 2020, and have a good evening.